Welcome to the Fine Print, everybody. I'm Caleb Teskey, and today we're going to start our journey into the cannabis industry in Vermont. And I'm joined by Damien Evans and, God damn it, I'm spacing already, Bailey Evans. Thank you from Higher Elevation in Morrisville. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'd like to start off the show by doing a little segment I call the 5-minute life story, if that's something you guys are cool with, and you just tell us a little bit like where you're from, where you went to school, you know, any kind of relevant details like that.
Okay, you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. Initially, I'm from Michigan. I moved a lot as a kid. So I ended up going to the University of Michigan Flint for an education degree. Decided during my student teaching, which was my last semester, that this was definitely not something I wanted to do. And then I kind of just did odd jobs and like did subbing. And then eventually we moved out to Vermont and I started working as like a baker. And then my husband was like, hey, we should try to get into the legal cannabis market. And I was like, okay.
Cool. What were you baking?
So I worked at Thompson's Flower Shop as their pastry chef.
Cool.
Just making like scones and cupcakes. I also do like custom decorated cakes from home. And then I also worked in Hardwick at Front Seat as their morning baker. So I baked off like all the pastries for the morning.
Cool. How about you, Damien?
And then I'm also from Michigan. Grew up in the Metro Detroit area, more the suburbs of Detroit. I also went to U of M in Flint for one semester, got put on probation, left, went to college at OCC, did not do well. And I dropped out of college. I started working for my grandma in the family business. I've been working for her through college and throughout high school before that and everything. But after I dropped out, I worked for her full time and everything. And then I worked for her up until 2014. And then she passed and she left the business to me. So I ran that business for about 3 years. And then I had to sell it. The writing was on the wall. I didn't have much of a choice in the matter. I didn't want to, but basically the town kind of forced my hand where I lived. I had to sell it. So it was a garbage company. They wanted to go to a single hauler. We couldn't compete with the larger companies. So I was like, let's sell it before we lose everything and then just move to Vermont to where her parents lived. So that's what we did. And now we're getting into the cannabis industry.
Cool. So you guys moved out here together?
Yep.
And how long you been out here?
Since December of 2017 is when we moved out here.
Cool.
And that's when I sold my last business, was September of 2017.
Cool. So thanks for the 5-minute life story. So just for everyone who's watching, all 12 of my viewers, can you tell people what kind of licenses that you're trying to apply for here?
Right now we're just trying to apply for the retail license. There's no tiers inside of the retail licensing, like some of the other style of licenses, like manufacturing and growing. It definitely, even though there's only one tier of license, there's a lot of like little moving parts that they haven't like kind of solidified the exact rules for, because those are the last licenses to be released.
Mm. And you guys are right downtown there in Morrisville, huh, by the Union Bank?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
The one across from Hannaford's.
Yeah, it looked like a nice little spot there.
Yep.
And so what's the license fee for a retail joint?
Oh, crap, what was it?
That's you.
I think it was, I'm trying to remember what it was. I just recently, I think it was 10,000.
Yes,
what it
it's
was.
one of the higher tiers.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be retail, the upstart cost is one of the highest. Lower ones would be like growers.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's also 10,000. I think that was spot on. So I want to ask you guys about finding a retail space because a number of people I've talked to have had trouble with this. You know, nobody seems to want to put up a cannabis business in their retail space. Could you talk a little bit about that?
We actually had a lot of trouble. We originally wanted to purchase a building so that like we weren't renting because we were like, oh, you know, it'd be nice just to own it so that, you know, we had some capital in it. And we looked like everywhere. There's not a lot of retail spaces for sale. And then, of course, there's the rules of like it can't be next to certain things,
All right.
like schools. So, like a couple of things we looked to were like, that might not fit into the school rules. So I don't know if we can move on it. Luckily, the person we're working with right now was totally okay with it. They were like, oh yeah, you know, it's a new business venture. I'd be, you know, silly not to, you know, invest in this and let somebody come in. So we were very lucky when we asked like, hey, you want a retail space? And just to let you know, it's for cannabis sales. That will be starting in October legally. And they were like, okay, that sounds great.
Oh, nice. So lucked out.
We really lucked out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What did you guys do the pre-qualification process?
Yes, we did.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
It really was not that difficult at all, really. It just getting all the information together and everything. And honestly, the hardest part was just going to Burlington and getting our fingerprints done. That was the biggest hassle, is because we live an hour away from Burlington. So
Sure.
other than that, it was a pretty painless endeavor, surprisingly.
And there's a $500 fee for the pre-qualification, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, there is. Yep, we already paid that up and everything. So we're just waiting to hear back from them. Which,
Yeah, I heard from Pepper at one of the last meetings that they're having trouble getting the background checks back from the FBI.
yeah, no, we got our stuff and we mailed it right to them and everything. And I went on to our Dropbox the other day and everything, and it showed that those FBI background checks, they uploaded them into it and everything, so they're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Have they started processing the applications yet, or nobody's licensed yet, are they?
Some they have gone through because there's different licenses that like are released. So like growers, I think could have a license and start legally growing. I think, what was it? I think it starts next month, actually. Yeah, I think May 1st. So you can legally grow and the growing licenses start taking effect. And we got an email pretty much saying that like, we have all your stuff, everything's all good, but we're not going to go through your license. We have to do the grower licenses first because when you apply for the actual license, it won't be released until October. So they have time for the retail license. So we're kind of on a back burner right now.
Oh, right, because you guys aren't trying to grow anything, so you don't really need to worry about that.
No, we do not need to worry about that at all. Thank God right now.
Cool. So let me also just on a related note here, talk about some of the banking and the insurance, because that seems like another super sketchy area where a lot of insurance companies don't want to insure a cannabis company, and a lot of banks want to, you know, they got these fee structures. So what have you guys been dealing with that in that arena?
The insurance, there's actually quite a few people that are doing cannabis insurance in Vermont and everything.
Do you know the names?
I don't remember. I know one of them is with Mountain Girl Cannabis.
Yes.
Her husband
Yeah.
is in
And
insurance.
the other owner
He's the other owner of it also, I think.
his insurance company does it. And I think there's somebody out of Burlington who does it.
I don't know. I don't remember what their name is. and
Yeah, I've
everything.
never met them, but
Yes.
there's a couple of insurance companies that are willing to work with you.
And
Who
then
do you guys work with?
We're gonna hopefully work with the one through Green Mountain. We haven't
Mountain Girl Cannabis.
Mountain
yeah.
Girls. Yes, thank
going to probably work with him and everything because we've heard a lot of people are working with him. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
we're probably going to go with him.
And do you have any idea what that cost is going to look like?
Not yet. There's been numbers thrown around by people and
Yeah.
everything, but we really haven't looked at the insurance yet and everything because we really haven't had anything to really look at yet for insurance.
We can't tell them how much product we're gonna have on hand, or we haven't finished building our building, so like how much like insurance we would need for that coverage and all that liability stuff. They have nothing to assess currently.
So you guys are basically going to be, you'll have the retail space, and you have a number, I saw on your Instagram page, you have a number of different brands that you kind of work with. And so is there a limit on how much you can bring into a retail space at one time?
Right now, no.
There's been no numbers given to, and any of the rules that I have seen,
Yeah.
I haven't seen any numbers yet.
Meaning we could carry as much product as we could physically secure in our space. Because there is strict like security, like how it has to be like locked up, what type of security system, like that's all very strict, but there's no hard number on how much product you can have in stock at one time, either on display or in the back.
So that's going to affect your insurance premiums depending on kind of how much coverage.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Sure. So, and who do you guys, if you don't mind me asking, who do you do your banking with?
Right now, we don't have a bank. It's been really hard. There's really only one bank that is willing to work with any of us. And they're in Burlington. Their prices are they're robbery, like they're so high. It's ridiculous.
Which bank is that?
Oh gosh, they just got.
Is it VCS?
VSECU?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. I think that's who it is.
Well, it's hard to tell because originally it was one bank and then they got bought out by another bank, and they kind of changed their policy recently because they're like, oh, we're absorbing this bank that was willing to do cannabis businesses. So we're going to have to make our own policy, and their policy for accounts is ridiculous. Like just.
It looked like about 1.5% flat rate for VSECU monthly. And then any FCU had like a tiered fee structure, based on number of licenses you have and the type of licenses, which could range up to like $30,000 a year in monthly fees.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then like in tiny print at the bottom is like, oh, also if you're taking loans out from us, your starting percentage could be way higher. And I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Really?
Yeah, like tiny little print at the bottom of it.
I'd like to see some of that if it's available.
Yeah, definitely. One of the manufacturers we work with posted it on Instagram when she got it, actually. It was like, and it had all like the pricings for the different tiers, for the different styles of licenses.
Was she a blonde woman perchance?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So that was when that got released, we were all kind of like, oh boy, that's pricey.
Yeah, it sure is. And they're the only two games in town. It seems like commercial banks aren't really even touching this at all.
No.
Or credit unions. We've talked to quite a few. We're like, hey, would you be willing? And they're like,
which other ones? Have you talked to North Country at all?
Yes, that was our first person we talked to.
We talked to North Country, and I got 3 different answers from them. I got a yes from them. I got a no from them. I got a yes from them, but you need to form a business plan and all this other stuff. And then our boss will look at it and decide. So I've gotten 3 different answers from them.
From 3 different people?
Yeah, from 3 different people.
Maybe you should circle back and ask the first guy again and see what he says.
Exactly.
I'm gonna talk to the one that said yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, are you guys planning on bringing in any more employees when you open up?
Yes, we already have a manager selected. He's been a long time friend of ours that actually was from Michigan and moved with us.
Yep.
And is our roommate. So we'll have a manager, and we also are looking at hiring one other employee when we open. And we already kind of have somebody in mind with that, somebody that I actually worked with in the past.
Are you worried about living with your manager? Could that get weird?
No.
No. Cool.
No. He's we've known him for quite a while and everything. He's a pretty reliable and trustworthy
He's like
guy.
family at this
Yeah,
point.
he's family.
Cool. So I wanted to ask about that too. Talk a little bit about owning kind of a family-owned business. What's it like working together? What's your average work day like? What are you guys up to?
My average work day right now with startup is probably about 12 hours.
Oof.
It's answering a lot of like emails and then having to like go and check things, research, phone calls, ordering. Like we had a lot of promotional like events to go to this month because obviously it was 420. So like there was tons of stuff to go to. So like recently I've been working a lot. Also, I'm the president of Lamoille Habitat for Humanities, so I also work on that at the same time. So I've been working pretty long days.
That sounds like a full plate. What is the Habitat for Humanities? Tell me about that real quick on a side tangent here.
So Habitat for Humanity is actually an international company, and we have a branch here in Lamoille, and it helps build low-income housing for families. And it's not that we just like give low-income like housing. The families that apply and are accepted, they then help build the house and put like sweat equity into it. And then at the end, they have, you know, a very nice home to live in. We're working on one currently in Morrisville off Maple Street. And it's almost actually done. And it's also, we're really proud, it's up to high green standards. So like it's really energy efficient, which is nice. And the family's super excited that it's almost done and they can move in.
Nice. That sounds like a cool little project.
Yeah, it's nice.
I see you guys had some, I saw a post where you said, oh, we have our first sponsorship deal with it looked like a poster from the Headies. Are you guys doing sponsorship deals and stuff?
Yeah, we've been sponsoring. The Headies was like the first thing we sponsored as like our company. We were the presenting sponsor, and that's been really great working with people. We have a couple of other sponsorships down the line, I think.
Hick Jam.
Yeah, we have Hick Jam.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're one of the sponsors for Hick Jam,
At
which is
Moog's joint or something.
yeah, Moog's Joint
Cool.
in Johnson.
Yeah. Right down the road.
That.
Yeah, that looks like a cool little event, man.
Yeah.
Boy, what else we got here? I wanted to get kind of just an overall picture. Like I read the 7 Days article. I don't know if you saw it, came out yesterday about so in there they had our anonymous blonde woman again making a comment about how much she's spent, which was around 300,000 so far just to get her, you know, retail space and manufacturing. And if you guys wouldn't mind, could you ballpark like a number that you've put into this?
So far, what we've put into this so far isn't that much money, actually.
Nice.
We've only put in so far $13,000, probably closer to 20,000 to be actually so far.
It's because we're renting a space, so like that makes it so it's not one lump sum of cash all at once. But 300,000 for a retail space is base like startup. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
the
also
minimum.
some commercial kitchen equipment, I think, and
Yeah, that's
things
very
that-
pricey.
yeah, for
You don't
sure.
have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys just get to bring in other people's stuff and pay your rent, and that's
Exactly.
keep the lights on.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yes.
What
and
about-
it's been pretty easy just focusing on retail and everything. That's been a good move on our behalf.
Yeah, it seems a lot less stressful than a lot of the other people that I've been talking to who are scrambling right now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a nightmare for some people.
Sure. So what about building codes? Like when you guys moved in there, was your building all up to code? Did you have to add security cameras, electrical, any kind of that stuff?
We need to add some security needs to be added to it. We need to add security. We have a contractor coming in that hopefully we can go hear from them soon and everything with blueprints, but we have a contractor coming. He just needs to build 3 walls in our space and everything, and that's it. Just
Okay.
a couple electrical outlets and that's it. And then
Why with the walls?
just because right now it's just one big open space. We don't have anywhere for like the storage room for the cannabis to lock it away. We don't. It's just one big open retail space with no walls.
Okay.
So we need to build an office. We need to build a room for the cannabis, an employee break room.
And what are the kind of security regulations? What do you guys have to have in terms of, I don't know. I know outdoor, it's just like, hey, they said put a fence around it or something, you know? How about for?
We have to have cameras that keep, I think, recordings for a certain amount of time. So like
Yeah,
we have like
certain
cloud
lengths.
data so that if we ever get like, they come and they're like, oh, we want to see your data from last month.
Sure.
So you have to have security cameras. You have to have like specialty doors and locks on the product when it's like not in use, or it has to be in a locked room with a certain door so like people can't break in. We're working with, once we get a blueprint, we already have a security person who does cannabis security. So they should, like they said, once we have a blueprint, we can get everything you need and it'll be to what the Cannabis Control Board wants.
And everything, yeah.
Is that somebody local who runs that security company?
I think they're out of Burlington.
No, Montpelier.
No.
They're out of Montpelier.
Cool. Maybe I could get their name from you later. I'd really like to talk to some security folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's doing everybody's security from what we've heard.
He is. And I think his name is actually, one second. I think it's,
I never remember anybody's name.
I know you don't ever remember people's name. It is, go to the event. It is Mountain View Security Systems.
Okay, cool. Montpelier. Very good. So let me ask you this, man. You guys are a little different because most of the people I've talked to so far are growing or extracting or making edibles. So let me sort of, if you could go back and rewrite the legislation, what are some things that you would take out and what are some things that you like that you might leave in?
First of all, I mean, like, we're the edible thing, like the rules for edibles are ridiculous. It's such a low dosage per item that like we're not gonna see, I feel like, the variety in baked goods, like, you know, brownies, cookies and stuff. I feel like we're just going to really see like gummies and like smaller like chocolates and stuff like that, just because each one can only be 5, which, I mean, that's minuscule. And I think it's up to 50 in a pack, which is like lower than any other state. So like, if you come from any of the states that has it legalized, you're never going to buy edibles from a dispensary because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can get one for way higher back at home. Why would I waste my money? So like, we're a little concerned that edibles aren't going to, with the current regulations, aren't going to sell very well, especially considering places like Massachusetts have legalized. So like the tourist market isn't going to necessarily, you know, want to buy edibles. And then of course you have the black market who's making things that are like 200 milligrams for a bar of chocolate. And I'm like, all I can give you is 50. Do you want to buy like, you know, 4 of those?
That's a great point. It's something I definitely mentioned to Pepper when I was at the control board meeting.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge problem. The edible thing needs to, I think once like things start happening and we start selling, I think they might change the rules just because there's still going to be a huge black market for edibles. And I feel like they're going to realize it's a problem and hopefully they up it to a normal amount so that like you can actually sell things.
Yeah, well,
that
that's going to
people
require
want.
them. That's going to require them to take it to the legislators because that was baked right into the S-54, I believe.
Yep, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's very frustrating.
Yeah, and it seems like with all the wasteful packaging, it's just creating, more. I usually get 600 milligrams from my friend for $60 in a brown paper bag that's recyclable, and I'd have to buy 12 of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We do like some of their ideas about packaging, some of them like not so much. Like I definitely think not being green, it's not a bad idea to have either recyclable or compostable or something that, isn't affecting the environment as much. But I feel like with most things they've done, they've gone too far, like to the point that it's like hard to find something because they still have the child lock. And then they're like, it can't be see-through. So like, we're glad that they're trying to be green, but yet again, it's like, it needs to be, scaled back to reasonable.
Yeah, right. Like, is that
suppliers
feasible,
stuff.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to
But-
interrupt you, but like, it does seem kind of tricky to get like, hey, we need black glass packaging with
Yeah.
a tamper-proof, I think they did dial the plastic thing back to maybe, we could use reclaimed ocean plastic, which I do like. It's some of my friends are doing that and I like it, but it does seem like it really limits your options.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. And it's expensive. That's the thing. As they add more of these things, the upstart for growers, for the people who are going to package it, which a lot of times in the smaller businesses, they're packaging it themselves. So all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're going to sell it for this much a pound to you, but it's going to be a packaged individually pound for us because we're not manufacturers. We can't package at our facility. So they're like, it's going to cost more than what the actual product itself is because we have to include whatever container we're going to put it in.
That is a bit of a conundrum there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Damien? Anything that you like in the legislation? Anything you don't like in particular?
My thing is the same. It's just edibles because personally, that's what I like. I don't really smoke and anything. I partake in edibles and everything, and that's the biggest complaint I have is the edibles because like it takes me like I like doing 200 milligrams at a time.
Whoa.
And like 5 milligram, 50 milligram packages is not going to do it for me. I'm going to have to buy 4 of those at a time just to get anywhere for me. Like
200.
it's just
whoa.
They need to change that. Like they really need to.
That's crazy, man. I'm more of like a 20 milligram kind of guy myself.
That's me.
Yeah. See, I got a
I'm
couple.
happy at 20.
I got a couple friends like Damien, and every time they hand me a cookie, I'm like, I would take a small bite. And I will wait.
Yeah.
That's our friends. How many milligrams is this? Like 100.
It's like, okay, I'll take a little tiny bite off of that.
Hey, would you tell me about some of the partners you're working with, or some of the people whose products you're selling?
Yeah, we are currently some of the growers and manufacturers we're working with Highly Rooted very like closely, and they're growers, cultivators, and they're also manufacturers. They make edibles.
Where are they from?
They are from Hyde Park, but they're actually their operation's going to be in Morrisville, pretty close to where we are. So that's really nice.
Cool.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I'm trying to think about it.
Freedom Flower is
They were the
Awesome.
ones we were handing out their gummies and toffees at the Heady.
Oh, okay. What about Freedom Flower? Is that
That's another cultivator that we're working with. He's out of Eden, actually. That's where his farm is. He's gonna be one of the bigger cultivators. He has was going for a higher tier grower license. And he's an indoor grow primarily.
I might have met him.
Only actually. I think he's just an indoor grow, but his products are great. He's super fun guy to work with. So we're working with him. We're hoping to work also right now. We're setting up a relationship with Life Arises Farms, which is out of Wolcott. Wolcott. I'm sorry.
Oh, cool. I got a business card from someone over there. I wonder if that's them.
Probably.
Yeah, I met a ton of people the last couple of weeks here. Just getting flooded.
Yeah.
So what do you guys offer? CBDs, tell me, tinctures, what are you guys selling?
We're doing everything. We actually currently are working with 2 CBD companies we already have products of, which is Zen Valley out of Morrisville, and then Elmore Mountain Therapeutics, which is
Reynolds.
obviously at Elmore.
Yeah, that's Ashley Reynolds, right? She's on the advisory committee, I believe.
Yes.
Do you know her?
We work with Ashley.
Yeah, cool. I would love to talk to her. People said she might be good to talk to, and
Oh yes.
I've been dying to reach someone from the advisory committee, and I haven't been able to get anybody to respond to my emails.
Yeah, we actually are meeting her on Monday and everything. I can pass your name along and everything.
Yeah, dude, that would be great, man. I'd really love to speak with her. I saw her TEDx
very
talk.
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, that's cool. Boy, you guys got any merch? You guys doing hoodies, doing stickers?
Yeah, we've got it all. He's wearing one of our hoodies. I'm wearing one of our shirts. We have stickers, we have water bottles, we have grinders that are engraved with our logo on it. They're super cool.
Where do you get those?
There's a cannabis promotion where you can get like one hitters with your logo on it. You can get like trays with your logos, stash bags with your logos. They're just all cannabis products that you can get your logos printed or engraved on. So they have grinders, and that's where I got the grinders.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's really awesome, and they're not badly priced either for what you get also.
How much for a grinder if I wanted a grinder today?
From us, it's probably how much?
$20.
$20.
$20.
Yeah.
It's a aluminum 3-tier grinder that has a keef catch and a scrape in it.
Wow, $20. That cost me $80 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, we were surprised how nice when they came in. We're like, wow, these are like nice, like your go-to grinder nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we could have either chosen plastic, nickel, zinc, or aluminum, and aluminum was the more nicer out of all of them. Because if you're going to have products representing your business and everything, you don't want to have cheap products representing your business, because then it just makes your business look cheap.
I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so we try to go with some nicer products that will actually last.
Cool. Who's got the best? Oh, you said you don't really smoke, huh, Damien?
I do not really smoke. She does, but she hasn't been able to smoke.
Who's got the best flower you've tasted in Vermont?
Oh, the best flower. Oh gosh. I haven't been able to try a lot of this stuff right now. The best smelling and looking is definitely, I really like Freedom Flowers. Life Arises for outdoor growing.
Oh God.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I've never seen such a clean bud in my life.
Yeah, Life Arises, very, very impressed with their nugs, and Highly Rooted has some very, very good smelling stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like primo smelling stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I got to drive by their house in about half an hour, so maybe I'll give them a call and see if they want to talk to me.
Yeah.
They seem super nice.
They are. But our manager, he's the one that's been he's been smoking all the samples. He's more of a smoker than I am.
I was just curious. I want to get people's recommendations, see what's on the top 3 list or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Doing my own little heady cup here and getting some people to weigh in from around the state.
No, they're pretty good, but edible wise, in my opinion, I like highly rooted the most. Like their toffees. I cannot get over their toffees.
I do love toffee. I'd like to get some of that.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Yeah,
So
they're
good.
English toffees. It's so unique for an edible too, because you don't really see that style. It's usually chocolate gummies. So like, it's just the fact that it's such a unique idea. Like toffees are not something you see as an edible, and they're really good.
I mean, yeah, well, toffee's got a lot of butter in it, so that makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping we'll eventually also see some like THC beverage drinks also.
That
I'm
would be fun.
hoping we start finding people that are going to start doing that, because kind of like a beer and everything, it's just got a percentage of THC in it instead. Like
My
a
friend in
seltzer.
Massachusetts works for a company called theyve, actually, and they do THC infused seltzers and stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. And I think that would be pretty popular in Vermont also, especially with how big the beer scene is. I think it would do pretty well, possibly.
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe a lot of maybe it would give some recovering alcoholics a way to feel like they're drinking without having to drink, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would help. Yeah, exactly.
And I see they do have CBD seltzers like Tree Tap or whatever that thing is.
Oh, good. What was it? Who was it? Elevated State and Stowe. They have some seltzers and everything, and
They're really good.
they have some really good seltzers. I love the strawberry flavored ones. They're so good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. The one I tasted was not particularly enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was expensive.
Yeah. No, the ones that they had are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty
I also like the kombucha company makes the CBD Kiss kombucha.
Yep.
They make a CBD one, and that's really good.
Okay, cool. Well, hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it here, but I would love to pick this up with you guys another time, if that's possible. I'm gonna loop back
Yeah.
around through everyone I got and then follow up with everyone down the road. I really want to thank you guys for your time and your conversation here and being my first cannabis interview.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Right
Oh,
on.
they talk to people.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you the other day, and I wish
Yep.
you guys the best of luck with your business venture.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care, guys.
You too.
Thank you.